We learned about iterables like list, which can give one element at a time. We have also learned about the functions which are inbuilt in Python like range, enumerate, which can return one iterator at a time. So there is a difference between an iterable and an iterator. So let's see that. Iterators are nothing but the objects that represent a stream of data. So the range function or the enumerate function that we have used in past provides a stream of data in each iteration, which a list cannot. The generators are nothing but the functions that creates these iterators. So the functions like range function and the enumerate functions are themselves called as a generators, and the return value given by these functions is called as an iterator. For more clarity, let's see an example of this. Here we have created a new range function which accepts one parameter, that is a number, and this new range function is going to return us a iterator object for every new iteration. Internally, this new range function has defined a counter variable which is acting as an incrementer, and the while loop checks whether the counter value is less than the number that we have passed. This while loop will be paused or halted because of the yield statement on line number 4. Yield is a keyword in Python which allows us to pause the execution of the program and return the current status, and again resume the execution of the program from where we have paused in the last iteration. So let's execute this program and see its output. Python iterators and generators. So here we can see that it returns a generator object. Why it returns a generator object? The reason being, yield will always return the current state as an iterator object, and hence we get a generator object. So the generator object is also called as an iterator. So here the new range function is returning an iterator. Now let's comment this and use this new range function in a for loop. So for item in new range, let's pass 10 to it, and then print an f string which is going to just print the iteration number, and let's put item value here. Now let's see the output of our program. Python iterators and generators. Now here we can see that the generator that we have used has actually given us numbers from 0 to 9. So here new range function is just giving an iterator or a generator object which is given to the item variable, and then it since there is an item or the iterator given, it goes inside the for loop and prints the statement. On the next iteration, new range function goes back to where it has halted or paused in the last iteration and starts from there. Hence it increases the counter variable and then again returns us a new value which is 1, and subsequently it goes up from 0 to 9. Remember that since the generators are returning an iterator, we can actually convert them into a list or iterate through them. Hence we were able to use them in a for loop. Here we might wonder, why do we need a generator when we have a list? So the reason being, generators are a lazy way to build an iterables. They are useful when the fully realized list would not fit in the memory, or when the cost to calculate each least element is high and you want to do it as late as possible, but they can only be iterated over once. So in that case, we might prefer to use generators. You might find you will be using iterators and generators a lot while writing a schedulers in Python or writing a web scrapers which can crawl on the websites and crawl the data. So the use of the iterators and generators is really practical in the writing scripts.